Today let's learn how to do this beautiful pattern. This is a stitch which is a multiple of 10 stitches plus 3 for the symmetry and the edging. Okay, so let's start. So here in this sample which I'm knitting right now, I have cast on 33 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 30 and 3 stitches for the symmetry. Okay, so the first round which is in the front side is you slip one stitch and then bring the yarn in the front, purl one stitch and slip the next stitch with yarn in the front, purl the next stitch, slip one stitch with yarn in the front, purl one stitch and then take the yarn at the back, knit one stitch, bring the yarn in the front, purl one stitch, slip one stitch with yarn in the front, purl the next stitch, slip one stitch with yarn in the front and purl one stitch. Okay, so for us what we have to do is we have to repeat this 10 stitches. 1 2 3 4 5. So this 10 stitches we will be repeating. Okay, so for the repeat, slip one stitch in the front, purl one stitch, slip one stitch in the front, purl one stitch, take the yarn at the back, knit one stitch, bring the yarn in the front, knit one stitch, slip one stitch with yarn in the front, purl one stitch, slip one stitch with yarn in the front and then purl one stitch, slip. So one more 10 stitches we have completed, and then let's do one more. Slip one stitch in the with yarn in the front, purl one stitch, slip one stitch, yarn in the front, purl one stitch, take the yarn at the back, knit one stitch, bring the yarn in the front, slip one stitch, bring the yarn in the front, purl one stitch, slip one stitch with yarn in the front, purl one, slip one stitch with yarn in the front, purl one, and the last stitch for the edging, purl. And for the left side, or say the wrong side, we will do purl all. So for all the wrong side we will just do purl all. And now row number 3, slip one stitch and for the next stitch bring the yarn in the front, slip one stitch and then purl one, slip one stitch with yarn in the front and then purl one stitch, take the yarn at the back, then we knit 3 stitches now. 1 2 and 3. Bring the yarn in the front, purl one stitch, with yarn in the front, slip one stitch and then purl one stitch and slip one stitch. So this is the stitch, or the pattern repeat. So we'll do one more repeat again. So this is with yarn in the front, slip one and then purl one, with yarn in the front and then purl one. Then we do a knit 3, 1, 2 and 3, bring yarn in the front, purl 1, slip 1 stitch and then knit 1, purl 1, slip 1 stitch and then purl 1, slip 1 stitch and then purl 1, knit 3 and then purl 1, slip 1 stitch, purl 1, slip 1 stitch and then purl 1, which is the last stitch. And again, back side of the work we will just do a purl all. And now we are at row number 5. So slip 1 stitch and then bring the yarn in the front and then slip 1 stitch, bring the yarn in the front, purl 1 stitch and then slip 1 stitch, purl 1 stitch and then we will do a knit 5, 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5 and then purl 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch, purl 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch and purl 1 stitch and then knit 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, purl 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch, purl 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch, purl 1 stitch and then 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 knits, purl 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch, purl 1 stitch and then the last stitch is a purl. Again, this is the back side, row number 6. This is purl all. Now we are at row number 7. So slip 1 stitch and then bring the yarn in the front and then slip 1 stitch with yarn in the front and purl the next stitch and then we will do a knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then purl 1 stitch, then slip 1 stitch with yarn in the front, purl 1 stitch, and then knit 7, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, purl 1 stitch, slip 1 stitch with yarn in the front, purl 1 stitch, and then knit 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then purl 1 stitch with yarn in the front, so slip 1 stitch, and the edge purl 1 stitch. So row number 8 is purl all stitches. Now we are at row number 9. So you can see that this is beautifully done. So row number 9, let's continue. Slip 1 stitch, knit the first stitch, and then purl the second stitch, slip 1 with yarn in the front, purl, slip 1 with yarn in the front, purl, slip 1 with yarn in the front, purl, and then slip 1 with yarn in the front, and then purl stitch, then knit 1. So repeat, purl, slip 1, purl, slip 1, purl, slip 1, purl, slip 1 and purl, and then knit 1 stitch, purl, slip 1, purl, slip 1, purl, slip 1 and purl, slip 1 and purl, and knit 1 stitch, and the last stitch is a purl. So row number 10 is purl all. Now we are at row number 11. Slip 1 stitch and then knit 2, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1 and purl 1, and then knit 2. Then knit 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, knit 2, repeat, knit 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, and then purl 1, and then knit 2, and for the edging purl 1. Now row number 12 is all purl. And now we will do row number 13, slip 1, knit 1, knit 1, and knit 1. So knit 3, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and then slip 1, purl 1, and knit 3. So we'll repeat it, knit 2, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and knit 3. Repeat again, knit 2, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and then knit 3, and for the edging purl 1. Row number 14, so purl all, so the next one is row number 15. This is the last but one row of the pattern. So slip 1, knit 1, and then knit 3, 1, 2, and 3, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and then knit 4, 2, 3, and 4. So we'll repeat the pattern, knit 3, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and knit 4, knit 3, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and then knit 4. And for the edging purl 1. And the last row is row number 16, which is a purl all around. Okay, we completed our stitch pattern. So this is the pattern of the stitch we have just done.